Hi there, thank you so much for tuning in to FunAhead TV. Today is an interesting episode. I'm going to be talking about a vehicle I never really thought I'd be featuring on this channel. Not because I'm too good for Jeeps, just because I never even considered it. But I am currently on the beautiful Hawaiian island of Maui. Our rental car has been a 2018 four-door Jeep Wrangler, Sahara edition. I knew we were going to be renting a Jeep while we're on Maui. And I was kind of neither here nor there about it. So I was like, yeah, you know, whatever, it'll be fun. It was more something that we were doing for my wife's sake, because she's always loved Jeep Wranglers. First impressions, this is the most unbecoming, antiquated interior ever. You get into the car and you see the gauge cluster that is almost identical to that of what my mom's 1998 Chrysler Town & Country had over 20 years ago. There's nothing flashy about it. You know, it just sort of is. It's just, it does its job. Okay, fine, whatever. That's the interior. That's whatever. I can live with that. But let's talk about how it drives. So this car has Chrysler's super age-old 3.6 liter V6 port injected, and it is mated to a also very antiquated 5-speed automatic transmission. Driving around town, it sort of drives me nuts. The transmission is very clunky and indecisive, and it often downshifts too far to give the engine, you know, like makes the engine rev up way too high. So that's a little frustrating, but I kind of got past that. The suspension is it's very trucky, it's very off-roady. And so, you know, as you're driving along, if you hit like little bumps, like even like reflectors that are like risen up, you know, maybe like a ½ inch in the middle of the road, like I actually just hit one. You feel that so much in the entire car, which is surprising and a little frustrating. Those are just kind of like my initial impressions. Bear with me, so don't start blowing me up in the comments. I know there's a lot of people that love Jeeps, and so right away I was like, why do people like these cars? And that was just my shallow view of them from before. That's because I've never really spent a whole lot of time around them. Honestly, I've always liked Jeeps, I've respected Jeeps. I realize that they're amazing off-road vehicles. They're very capable, and they have a huge following, but I'm like, why do these people like love Jeeps so much, like die-hard Jeep fans? Well, fortunately, I was able to spend a lot of time in this car over the last week. I logged over 400 miles behind the wheel of it, and I must say, I have absolutely fallen in love with this thing. Here's the thing about a Jeep. When it's in its element, it is so truly good. And that's the thing. And there's another car, or company of car, that I have featured many times on this channel, and that is Porsche. They are also that way. When they are in their element, they are so good. My Cayman kind of sucks around town. It always is begging you to drive it faster. It's kind of uncomfortable, it's loud, whatever. It's not an around the town car. Well, this is the exact same way. If you're just cruising around town, it's not in its element, it's not happy. But actually, if you get this thing on like kind of a curvier road, not like it hugs corners super well, it's comfortable on corners. And then when you get it off-road, holy cow, like it just, you can tell it's like right at home. It is in its element. It just comes alive. It is so cool. And so we've actually gotten to do a lot of off-road driving with it, because throughout Maui there's a lot of just regular roads that are dirt roads, or they're like very like patched up, kind of like used to be paved roads, but they're like half dirt, half paved anymore. So, and you just start to have so much fun with the car. It just puts a huge smile on your face. It's awesome. You can't help but love it. But that's the thing. The Jeep doesn't claim to be anything. It doesn't claim to be the newest, latest, greatest, flashiest car. Obviously, they don't give a shit, pardon my French, about putting the latest stuff in the interior to make the customer super happy. In fact, these turn signal stocks are also very antiquated. I just noticed those. Who cares? It's not about that. It's not about having the latest and greatest. But what it does do well, like a it is such a communicative chassis. As you drive along, the car tells you what it's doing, and you're kind of telling it what it's doing, and you kind of just become one. And it's such a cool feeling, and you just instantly, like, you just become buddies with it. It's so cool. Which is, I think, why the love affair happens with Jeep people. And that's kind of what's lost, I think, on a lot of, like, what's lost, I think, on a lot of, like, current car reviews. Like, they sit down in the car and they start picking apart, you know, what they see in, you know, in the interior, how fast the car can go 0 to 60, and like, blah, blah, blah. Well, all of this is because I'm convinced the auto industry has all gotten, and it's obvious, everyone knows this, who can do the latest and greatest infotainment. It's made the industry weak. It's made the cars boring. And there are very few true driver's cars anymore. And I would say the Jeep Wrangler is a driver's car in its own way. It's not the back road slaying, precise steering car that like a Porsche Cayman S might be. But damn it, it is a good car. It is a good driver's car, and it tells you what's going on, and you cannot help but love this thing. It is so cool. So anyway, in conclusion, would I buy one? I would buy the hell out of one of these. In fact, I want one super bad now. I get it. I get it, Jeep guys. I get it. So with that, thank you so much for tuning into FunAhead TV. And I hope that if you're the same way that I was before about Jeeps, like kind of neither here nor there, go drive one. Because I bet you'll be impressed. But give it a minute, because at first you're going to start looking at the same stuff that I was. You're like, oh, well, you know, it doesn't, transmission, blah, blah, blah. Not about that. Go drive it the way it's meant to be driven, and you'll love it, I promise. Thank you so much for tuning into FunAhead TV.